Today, our two heroines are Susie, who has a big job to do for Hadassah, and Naomi, who is late for an appointment. The scene is any big hotel anywhere, maybe in your own city. Susie is talking. Listen. There you are, Naomi. What made you so late?
Oh, you know, busy mother. PTA meetings, civic club, shoes for the baby.
Yes, I know all right. And that's why I'll get straight to the point. I've got to have my quota of new members for Hadassah by tomorrow, Naomi. And you're it.
Oh, I see.
Tell me, Naomi, you were glad, weren't you, when the state of Israel was declared?
Of course, we all were.
Well, I don't think it's enough for us just to be glad. We have to go further than that. Have you thought what would have happened to the American colonies if, after the Declaration of Independence, we had not had the help? Why are you looking at me?
Oh, you sound odd, Susie. Have you got a cold?
I honestly haven't had time to notice. Maybe I better notice.
You Hadassah women certainly don't take no for an answer. But go on, I'm sorry.
Well, this is the story, Naomi. Our country was the first to recognize Israel. We ought to be proud of that. We need a democratic ally in the Middle East, and Israel is just that. Hadassah wants to help the world's youngest democracy, and nobody can be too busy for that. Now, watch. See, this is the Hadassah membership graph beginning in 1912. And here's where we are today. You want to know how we got there?
Oh, my goodness. Is this going to be a history lesson?
Yes, I'm afraid it is. Now, don't wiggle, Naomi, don't wiggle. Now, look. Hadassah started right about here with 12 women when Palestine was a Turkish country. When the British took over, Hadassah sent the first medical unit. Hadassah lifted the cloud of epidemics and poverty.
With 12 members?
No, of course not. By 1924, we had 12,000 members. And that was why we could open hospitals in Jaffa and Haifa and Jerusalem and Safed. And why we could train nurses. Why we could start welfare stations.
I know, and clean up Tacoma and save babies.
Yes, and that's why we understand the job that's ahead.
But it's all been cleared up, hasn't it?
No, Naomi. Unfortunately, it hasn't all been cleared up. The new Jewish state still faces some of the same problems. And Hadassah experts know what they are from experience. Remember, there is still empty land. No water in some places. And a promise still to be redeemed for 1 million newcomers. Nothing happens overnight, you know. And Hadassah didn't climb up in a day either, Naomi.
But where are we going, Susie?
1924 to 1930. Now, you stay close behind me.
All right, but maybe couldn't we just talk about it instead?
Talking never built anything, Naomi.
Oh.
Come on now.
Susie.
Come on.
Oh. Oh. Whee! Guess I talk too much. All right, I'll listen, Susie. Go ahead.
Good. Stay there now, and listen. By 1930, we had 25,000 members. We doubled Hadassah in 6 years. And that meant, of course, double the work.
That's the year my sister joined.
Yes, I know. Well, come on now, come on. We're not finished yet.
Oh, Susie, I never was good at climbing.
There's a big reward for those who get to the top. Come on up, right again. Come on.
Oh, I told you it was too hard. Oh, I didn't make it.
All right, Naomi, you just stay where you are. It's all right. It was the year before Hitler, 1933. History was moving fast, and so were we. 5,000 more members added in 3 years.
Wasn't that the year they started rescuing Jewish children?
Yes, it was, 1933. It was also the year we started building the Hadassah Medical Center on Mount Scopus, outside of Jerusalem. And here a great dream came true, Naomi. Affiliated with a Hebrew university, we planned new projects, engaged in research, expanded public health and hygiene work. We fed more children and helped make the country tops in medicine. And from America came the instruments, the beds, the drugs, and even the seeds for the garden. And these 3 domes meant more healing, more teaching, more research. Looking down from this height, every Hadassah member knew that nothing was going to be impossible.
Oh, Susie, it's beautiful up here.
Yes, isn't it? Look back on that chart, Naomi. You'll see why Hadassah dared all this. It was because our ranks had grown that we could perfect our medicine, that we could expand recreation, nutrition, TB control, and that we could gather here the great talent which Europe had thrown away.
How many joined then?
Oh, I'll show you, wait a minute. You watch. 66,000 by 1939.
Didn't you forget something?
What? Oh, yes, wait. Where's that comma? Oh, yeah, let me see now. Oh, here it is. There we are.
That's some jump in 6 years.
Yes, it was pretty good, but it should have been better, Naomi. Just think what that membership increase meant to them. To this courageous, dedicated Hadassah nurse. To this doctor who was opening wide the frontiers of science. To the Oriental Jew, so eager to learn our modern ways. To the dauntless pioneer, those already in the land and those yet to come. To the broken, hope-filled refugee. To the homeless European child, the first generation of the land. To the defender of the Jewish national home. For all these, Hadassah was and is, in peace as in war, the pacemaker for good health, the standard bearer for science. Hadassah needs you, Naomi, so it can go on being a mother, a teacher, a friend. For all these, there still is a tremendous job to do, believe me. Because between that time and this, the impossible has happened. The prophecy is now a reality. First, the British left the land. That meant that nothing could keep the exiles out. Then the United Nations sanctioned the Jewish state. And then it happened. Israel was reborn and fought to keep alive. Makes you feel good, doesn't it, Naomi?
Well, what does Hadassah do now?
Now? Oh, the same. Only more of it, Naomi. Just think how much Hadassah had to do. And just imagine how much higher we had to climb to be ready for the year of decision. And here it comes, 1949. Come on, Naomi. Come on, you've got to keep going now.
Oh, I'd like to, but it looks awfully hard.
Oh, you yourself said, Naomi, that you get nowhere by talking. Don't give up. Come on. Hop on, Naomi.
I really haven't the time. I just can't. No.
Where would we have been if we'd all said that, Naomi? Oh, come on, try it. Come on.
Oh, well, Susie. What about the children and the PTA and having no maid and everything?
Busy people always have time, Naomi. Remember, you're not by yourself. Don't you know you're taking the whole of Israel with you? Those you will heal and those you will liberate. Think how much depends on Hadassah. Together there's no end to what we can do for all these hundreds of thousands of people. Sure, you're busy, Naomi. That's why we want you. Because you've already shown that your heart's in the right place. You'll find that it's a great joy to work with us, Naomi. In the 10 years after 1939, Hadassah grew to 260,000. That's 200,000 more in 10 years. We grew because Americans want Israel to live.
Hooray! Come up, Susie. It's wonderful here.
I'm coming. Oh, that's where I belong. Oh, Naomi, I've been waiting for this. Oh, you just wait. I'm going to make the speech of my lifetime.
And if I know you, it'll take a lifetime to make it.
Here I come.
Now, don't flip, Susie.
No, I won't. Now, listen, all of you. Here's what Israel needs. For the youth born in the land, food, training for jobs, and citizenship. For the fighters, medical aid, rehabilitation, care for the family. For the Oriental Jews, new skills, sanitation, the chance also to be a pioneer. For the child from the dark places of the earth, love and safety and faith. For those just come and those already there, land for settlements and cities and factories. And for Hadassah's own, the tools to keep the standards high, new hospitals, and the first medical school for Israel.
Oh, now you've got me worried again, Susie. There's such an awful lot to do.
Awful? No, Naomi, not awful. Not awful to those who come from lands of death, Naomi. They enter the harbors of Israel with weeping, but their tears are tears of joy. To them, these are shores of hope. For here are nurses and doctors and hospitals for the sick, and homes for the little ones to grow strong again. Here a man can become like other men. Here a man can work and he can eat his full. And a child can rest knowing his parents are near. Here are cities built on sand, but firmly built, and factories to mold new industries, dependent on the fields grown rich with grain and abundant with fruit. Here, where once was desert, now is every blossom, every color, every perfume to sweeten the air. Once these two were lost, a whole generation. Now they're at home. No people who defends itself thinks hardship awful, Naomi. No. The miracle is greater than you think. The awe lies here, that a people dispersed for centuries has made this miracle with homely things, with busy streets and concrete roads and playgrounds for children. And even with an Israeli zoo. Normalcy for the Jewish people. That's the miracle. Eating hot dogs like anybody else, going to the movies, sitting in the sun, talking of grandchildren or of liberty. They're both the same. Going out to build yourself a new home, or joining others to build for a whole community. Or learning to be a sailor, or a farmer, or a baby nurse, or a teacher, or just learning to walk on stilts. That's Israel today. And this is Israel, too. Fighting heat in the Negev, where Hadassah is building the first hospital in the desert, ripping away the sand for water, defying the sun to find a place for roots, opening irrigation ditches, yes, and breeding fish where none has ever lived in the memory of man. Do you wonder that the rainbow comes often to Israel? Naomi, don't you feel you've just got to help? And the best way, believe me, is to join Hadassah. Here, let me show you what you'll do. You see this? This is what we call an organization chart. And it shows only a few of the things that Hadassah does. Watch. Looks like a lot, doesn't it? Well, it is. Do you remember we began with medical work? And that's still one of the most important tasks. Hadassah cures and teaches in its hospitals, a nurses' school, the new medical school, TB institutions. Hadassah prevents disease in 54 stations, in schools, rural communities, and ports of entry for the government. Under this sign that I hold comes our work for you. Lunches for 30,000 kids, teaching kitchens, domestic science, mass feeding. In 42 playgrounds, in clubs and camps, we train teachers and children for recreation. Vocational training in the only girls' school of its kind, in clinics, evening classes, and special institutions. And Hadassah is also the official American representative for the rescue movement called Youth Aliyah. Oh, and don't forget, we also reclaim the land through the Jewish National Fund. Now tell me, Naomi, where else can you get so much for so little? This is no time for any of us to be tired. We need women like you, Naomi, hard-working, good Americans who know that today in Israel it is the year 1776.
You're right. You're absolutely right. And now let me make a speech. I know just what I want to say. Israel needs action, not words. Hadassah needs dues to make the wheels go round. It's in the American tradition to heal the sick and export American standards of science. It's a good American investment to help Israel absorb the newcomers and aid its youth to love freedom as we do. It's good Americanism to stand by the world's youngest democracy.
Tell them, too, Naomi, that it's good citizenship to join Hadassah and to get to know your Jewish heritage, to fight at home as you do abroad for life and liberty.
Oh, you win, Susie. I pay my dues to Hadassah. You out there, what about you? How much bigger will you make it today? And what about tomorrow? Well...